if you don't know, they're like, oh, there's a table empty, and they're like, oh, he's on his way. Jordana Brewster is.
Yeah.
And he pulls up in his Nissan Skyline, which he had in the early ones. He's always wants that Japanese style. And he pulls up. And I was saying how great it is that they didn't kill his character off. They just don't feature him, and it works wonderfully. It's really touching.
That makes it that much better now.
Yeah.
Knowing that. Because for some reason, I was just blankly thinking that it was John Cena. But that makes it even that much better that they still revolve this world around Brian, and Brian's still in this world.
Because if they ended it how they ended Fast 7,
I think it was, yeah,
where they go in the diverging roads, and Brian goes away in his Toyota Celica or whatever, and he presumably goes to start his own life. Like, it'd be so uncomfortable and weird if they just never mentioned Brian.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like, he is Vin's number one. He is his sister's husband. But the way they do it in this movie is like, I don't know, man. It's really, I've never seen it done in films. Like, and no one's ever had to. It would be the equivalent of like Heath Ledger being an active character in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's like he's mentioned, he's a part of the storyline, but he's never on screen. The kids, Vin Diesel's kid, named Brian, is under the protection of Brian, which is why it's of course, Brian wouldn't be on this mission because he's like, well, shit, I will take care of these kids because we know what we're up against.
Yeah.
So who better to take care of them? And Jordana Brewster's character has to go because it's her brother. And I can absolutely see Brian being like, yeah, I get that. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to take care of the kids. But then I'm going to roll up for the barbecue as they
I'm going to wait till all the smoke's cleared.
And then we're going to rebuild the house and we're going to get going.
Right.
This movie has countless action scenes that we could talk about. I would do. The hand to hand is always good in these movies. It's gotten so much better than it used to be. It used to be just blunt fisticuffs with Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, and now it's these intricate hand to hand Bushido shit, man.
Yeah, I gotta say though,
it
was. I don't say it was lacking, but I gotta say that I was wanting more. But what got my appetite a little bit was that Vin Diesel one-man wrecking was the coolest
just
fucking
about
scene.
To bring that up.
Yeah, that was done awesome. Yeah.
Tell them about what that is. Tell them, just make sure, set the scene just so.
So Vin Diesel and the whole crew, everybody, they got Han, and now Jacob has taken the key, which is this girl that when Han was stealing the technology, Jacob has taken her away, and they've kind of trapped him in there with the guards. They've gotten away from the guards, and they're trying to make their way out of this silo. It's an underground base that Mr. Nobody would use for his operations secretly during the CIA. And they're making their way up. Everybody's out. They're climbing the ladder. Everybody's going through the scuttle. Everybody's out. Dom says, I'll always be in your heart, something to that effect, and closes it behind him. So I think that he's preparing to die right here.
He is. Here he's saying, I'm going to, and it always works in movies.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. I'm always like emotionally connected to when everyone's like, I don't know. The movie Serenity comes to my mind, where if you have ever seen that, River is everyone's like, we're gonna die, and River's like, everyone's taking care of me. I'm gonna take care of you all now. She shuts the door and she goes fights this zombie horde, and basically Vin Diesel does that. He's like, there's no way we're gonna escape because there's too many guards and we need that buffer, and he becomes that buffer, and it's
like
great.
Right when he closes that door, it's like they press the nitrous button on it, and he just goes nuts. And it is so much fun in watching him take on all these guys. Yeah, because
in Fast 7, he does that weird shit where he stomps on the concrete and he collapses the whole building. Right. I know it was structurally weak, but still, come on. And you're like, okay, but then, man, you just get to see Vin Diesel. He's fighting weaklings. He's not fighting like a Shaw where the fight needs to be a bit equal, or a Hobbs where it's like his equal. It's like these are thugs. These are henchmen that are meant in movies to be discarded, and he
discards them. He does.
Oh,
great,
and
man.
He takes out like 10, and then he's like, oh, and you as an audience member, I was like, oh shit, he did it, and then like 30 men come.
And that shot of him pushing them all back was so good too. That was great.
It's really great. It makes me wonder, like, I mean, and Tyrese, this is his whole character's plot in this is like, how are we still alive? And it's so smart of them to acknowledge it, and like, because it almost becomes satirical in like a self-aware, like, very minor way, where Tyrese's character is like, he's the audience's perspective, and like, maybe we are, but are we superheroes? Are we, And Vin Diesel is a superhero. I mean, at this point, he is. I don't know where he gets his strength from, but it's family, right?
It is.
I've answered my own question. It's family that he gets his strength from. But absolutely, that's probably the best fight scene in the movie. It's really well done. The movie was worth it for that for me.
Yeah, it was. And like we said, there's a lot of set pieces. There's a lot of good driving and stuff like that and fun stuff. It opens from the, pretty much after Dom's father, we get the backstory there. We immediately just, and we won't go through the whole movie, but we immediately go to, I forgot where the location is, but we get a good car chase to the jungle and stuff like that, and a lot of good comedy between Tyrese and Ludacris.
Yeah.
Good stuff there. And
so let's talk about, as you're describing the movie, I think it'd be fine if we jumped ahead and just jumped to the reintroduction of the Tokyo Drift crew.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Because I didn't not like it, but it was the biggest, like, head scratcher for me.
Yeah.
If you recall Too Fast, Too Furious, you got Lucas Black's character. What was his name?
Sean Boswell.
Sean.
Yeah.
You have Sean Boswell, thank you. And he and Lil Bow Wow are two scrappy guys who sort of are both outsiders, but they become friends and they get into the street racing thanks to Han. And through that, they meet, I forgot the actor's name, but he's wonderful in Warrior. He's really fantastic. Marcus hasn't watched Warrior yet.
Yeah,
but he's sort of the sidekick in Warrior, and he's wonderful. So these three guys, he played the nerdy scientist guy, similar to not the Giovanni Ribisi knockoff in Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So he plays that role, and these three guys are, as I referenced it as, like, they're like Doc Brown now.
It is. It's just like they've got a hold of this jet engine company and thing that they work for now, and they're making jet engines and strapping them to Fiats.
And Lucas Black is insane.
He is. He's this like crazy guy now.
in Tokyo Drift, he's like this very, like, cut back, like, I don't want to make a big deal. I'm just sort of here. Right. I mean, I'll fight if I have to, but let's not.
I'll race you for your high school girlfriend because she's putting it on the line. Yeah.
And he'll do it, but he's never necessarily the one to instigate it.
Right.
Until he has to. But he's this kooky scientist.
It's what it. And you got Bow Wow putting on a little weight. I like it. He's an adult now. Good. Yeah,
good call.
Yeah. Looking sharp, but that was very strange. I was so excited to see them.
Me too.
I hadn't looked at any, with the cast or anything before watching this, because I didn't want to be surprised. I wanted to be surprised.
I saw the one trailer, and I was in.
Yeah. And
that's all I needed.
Yeah, and it was fun to have them back, especially because I wanted to see the Han and Sean kind of gathering again, too. Because that's a huge component of, like you pointed out, of this series. If you don't have Han in this series, like, it seems like Han is going to be almost as important as Dom is to the series carrying forward.
He is. I mean, it must be, because like, we get that post-credit scene where he goes and confronts Deckard Shaw.
Yeah.
Which I think I sent you a message about that, where it was like, so to go towards the end of the movie, the whole assassination of Han was set up by Mr. Nobody. Or so we thought.
Right.
Because at the end, when Deckard Shaw is confronted by Han, he's shocked. And I thought Shaw had been working for Mr. Nobody the whole time.
That's what I had thought from that. Yeah.
The case was that Shaw was going to kill Han. Mr. Nobody knew about it and set the whole thing up to allow Shaw to believe the assassination had taken place. That's what we're left with, right?
Yeah. And now I got to think that there is a deeper layer now to where Han and Shaw actually, they knew that Mr. Nobody knew that they knew, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
I'm thinking that he was surprised to see him, and keep in mind this is a stinger that's after in the middle of the credits.
Yeah.
So if you watch it, then stay for a little bit. But yeah, I think that meeting, I took it as a surprise, but I took it as you're here, let's get to work kind of thing that they're going to be doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like that too. It's so, their eye contact is so quick before the credits continue.
Right.
You are left to think. My initial response was, doesn't he know?
Yeah.
But you're right. Maybe it's like, oh shit, here we go. Now it's like, I guess it's time.
Yeah.
So what else is there to talk? I mean, Letty's great. It's so great to see Jordana back in the action as opposed to like being a hesitant hero who has to be behind the computer because she's taking care of kids. No, she's in the thick of it. She's there. She's trying to get her brother back.
You had Michael Rooker. That was a nice addition in there too.
Which I thought he was going to be a much bigger part.
I know. I wish he would have been, man. I wish he
really is this minor character that anybody could have played, but I guess he's like, I'll get in this franchise. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, no kidding.
Odds are I'll come back in some way.
Right. You had a Cardi B spot in there too.
Yeah, I didn't understand the Cardi B spot. I wasn't sure. So she worked for Helen Mirren at one point.
Right.
And Helen Mirren set up all those undercover hot cops to bust Dom out.
Yeah.
What'd you think about their sexual chemistry?
Yeah, that was weird, man, wasn't it? God.
Yes.
Because
Because their meeting in Fate, where he gets past Cypher and is able to meet with the parents, it's nothing flirtatious at all. It's all like it's mutual respect. I think she shows him she's a huge crime boss, so she's like, okay, I see that you're capable, and he's like, I know what you do. There's respect there. This was all just like, you look fucking hot.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you charmer, and he's like, yeah. And it's just like had that scene continued, it would have been a rom-com.
It would have been, yeah. Yeah, it was like they fucked a week and a half ago, and they're kind of thinking about it again now.
Yeah, it's like we made a mistake, but we still have that energy, so let's keep going. And it seemed like it seemed to come out of left field, but it certainly didn't dampen my overall experience.
Oh no!
What?
Somebody who I could see more and who I'm guessing has got to play in the biggest part, who I think will be the biggest villain, is going to be Cypher. She's got to play the part in 10, the two-parter. And
so she's
she does great in this. I wish there was a little bit more, but I understand where you have too many cooks in the kitchen right now, so you can't give everybody the time. But she does well.
She is. It's always great to see Charlie's, and there's going to be her in the 10, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, we love this movie. Let's talk about what we think 10's going to have, Marcus.
Okay.
Because I feel like we could talk about the scenes all day. But I think 10 will have Cypher, but I think there's going to be a new villain that has been talked around or hinted at. I think Mr. Nobody could turn.
Yeah, that would be fun to see Kurt Russell as a bad guy. Yeah. Because I could definitely see it, because that whole time I was wondering, why he's not dead. They haven't found the body. They haven't talked about him anymore since the plane crash in F9. But yeah, I could definitely see him turning up, as far as this was his plan kind of to get away, and now him and Cypher are in on it kind of too. Yeah.
I could see that. I could see... who knows what they're going to do with it, but I could see them setting it 10 years in the future or something like that, and have Baby Brian be a driver.
Oh yeah, it has to be. Yeah,
that could be fun.
Can we see Cole Hauser getting out of prison finally and coming in to help too? Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah.
Yes, that would be incredible. But it's Rip Cole Hauser. This is what prison has done to him. a soft, hard-spoken, short sentence like badass.
Right, right.
No longer the flamboyant like millionaire.